Have you ever wondered, why would God allow this pain? Why am I suffering while others seem to prosper? Will this sadness ever end? Pain has a way of making today feel like forever. But God's perspective is different. What feels permanent to us is often temporary in His plan. Today you'll discover why your pain does not have the final word. Because in God's kingdom, joy is stronger than suffering, hope is greater than heartbreak, and eternity is greater than today. Everyone experiences pain. Some carry emotional pain, others carry financial pain, some battle rejection, some grieve the loss of loved ones, others quietly fight depression, anxiety, disappointment, or failure. Pain asks difficult questions. Has God forgotten me? Will things ever change? Is there any purpose in this suffering? The danger is not only the pain itself. The danger is allowing pain to define your identity. Pain can become a prison if we believe it is permanent. But Scripture reminds us that our present suffering is not the whole story. God is writing a bigger story than the chapter you are living today. Let's look at Joseph. Joseph knew what pain felt like. He was betrayed by his own brothers, thrown into a pit, sold as a slave, falsely accused, forgotten in prison. Year after year, nothing seemed fair. Yet God never abandoned him. Every painful season became preparation. God was developing wisdom, character, patience, leadership, and faith. Finally, Joseph became governor of Egypt and saved countless lives during famine. Looking back, Joseph understood something remarkable. God had been working even while Joseph was suffering. Genesis chapter 50 verse 20 says, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done." The saving of many lives. Joseph teaches us that pain can become preparation when placed in God's hands. Most people see Joseph's promotion. Few understand the system behind it. The visible outcome was governor of Egypt. The invisible system was this: a dream leads to suffering. Suffering leads to faithfulness. Faithfulness builds character. Character develops wisdom. Wisdom leads to promotion. And promotion fulfills purpose. Joseph's prison was not God's absence. It was God's classroom. Without the pit, there would be no palace. Without testing, there would be no maturity. God was building the person before revealing the position. God often works inside us before He works around us. God established a kingdom principle. Temporary suffering can produce lasting spiritual fruit when we remain faithful. Joy rooted in God's kingdom is deeper than changing circumstances. It is grounded in His presence and His promises. Romans chapter 8 verse 18 says, "Our present sufferings are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us." Psalm 30 verse 5 says, "Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning." Morning may not come according to our timetable, but God's promise is certain. Here is how transformation works. Belief leads to decision. Decision leads to action. Action becomes habit. Habit builds character. Character produces results. And results shape your life direction. Let's apply this to Joseph. Joseph believed God's dreams. That belief shaped his decisions. His decisions produced faithful actions. His actions became habits: integrity, excellence, forgiveness, and patience. Those habits formed godly character. Character prepared him for leadership. Leadership fulfilled God's purpose. Pain did not produce Joseph's greatness by itself. Faithfulness during pain did. The same principle applies today. Pain can either make you bitter or make you better. Your response determines the direction. So how do you live through painful seasons? Step 1. Change what you believe. Believe God is still working even when you cannot see it. Step 2. Renew your thinking daily. Read God's promises instead of replaying your fears. Step 3. Apply kingdom principles consistently. Pray, forgive, trust, obey, serve. Step 4. Build disciplined habits. Spend time with God every day. Keep growing while you wait. Step 5. Remain faithful during delays. God's timing is never wasted. Step 6. Follow Joseph's example. Trust God. Remain faithful. Forgive those who hurt you. Allow God to transform your pain into purpose. Imagine looking back one day and realizing every painful season prepared you for something greater. Imagine discovering that God never left you. Imagine finding joy that circumstances cannot steal. That is kingdom living. The same God who walked with Joseph in the pit walks with you today. The same God who turned suffering into purpose can do the same for your life. Your present chapter is not your final destination. God is preparing an eternal future where sorrow, death, and pain will be no more. Revelation chapter 21 verse 4 says, "He will wipe every tear from their eyes." There will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain. That is the permanent joy of God's kingdom. If this message encouraged you, subscribe to Masasa Ministry. Comment below, "God is with me through every season." Share this message with someone who needs hope today. May God strengthen your faith, comfort your heart, and fill you with His everlasting joy. See you in the next video.